At 68, Steve Harvey divorced his wife immediately after this. For 18 years, Steve Harvey called Marjorie the woman who saved his life. He adopted her children. He defended her publicly on radio, on television, and on stages in front of thousands of people. He built an empire with her name woven into every part of it. Then the internet decided it knew something he didn't. And what it tried to do to that marriage is one of the most calculated public ambushes in modern entertainment history. The storm that tried to burn everything down. In August of 2023, an anonymous post spread from Twitter to YouTube to Facebook and was being treated as confirmed news by millions of people who had never seen a single piece of evidence. The claim was that Steve Harvey had caught his wife Marjorie cheating with two members of his own household staff, his bodyguard and his personal chef. Both men he had trusted with his most private world for years. The bodyguard at the center of it was William Freeman, known publicly as Big Boom. What made the rumor particularly brutal was a detail most people never knew. Big Boom was not just a hired security guard. He was the man who had personally reconnected Steve and Marjorie in 2005 after years apart. He was, quite literally, the reason their marriage existed at all. Harvey was in Atlanta at InvestFest when the pressure became impossible to ignore. He walked on stage, looked directly at the crowd and said, "Before I get started, just let me say, I'm fine. Marjorie's fine. I don't know what y'all are doing, but find something else to do, because we're fine. Lord, have mercy. I sure wish I could cuss, though." The crowd laughed and applauded. Marjorie posted a Bible verse on Instagram with a single caption saying she and her husband didn't usually stop to address foolishness and lies. Then she went completely silent on social media for 3 full months. Then something happened that nobody expected. Rather than disappear, Steve went further. On September 11, 2023, during an emotional Strawberry Letter segment on his own radio show, he broke. "Marjorie, don't really get into all this," he told his listeners. "I'm so used to getting beat up. But I didn't know how Marjorie was feeling about everything that's out there. Because these bottom feeders are just beating my wife up, and I'm tired of it." He singled out black bloggers specifically for keeping the story circulating. "After today, there will be no more," he said. On June 25, 2025, Steve and Marjorie celebrated their 18th wedding anniversary in Paris, attending fashion shows in Louis Vuitton and Amiri. Steve posted on Instagram, "To my ride or die, my best friend, thank you for all the years of holding me down. #number 18. Marjorie responded under the caption, 18 years. A lifetime to go. Happy anniversary, my love." The marriage the internet had buried in 2023 was still standing, dressed better than its critics. Atlanta Black Star. But to understand why the scandal detonated as hard as it did, and why millions were ready to believe it without a single piece of evidence, you have to understand what came before Marjorie. Because Steve Harvey's path to that marriage ran through 2 other marriages, 1 jail sentence, and a $60 million lawsuit that nearly erased everything he had built. 3 women, 3 wars. Steve Harvey has been married 3 times. This is not a footnote. It is the emotional spine of everything he has built and everything he has been accused of. His first wife was Marcia Harvey. They married in 1981 when Steve was still selling insurance and had never stepped onto a comedy stage. They had twin daughters, Brandy and Carly, and a son, Broderick Harvey Jr. The marriage collapsed as his career began to stir. Comedy demanded everything: nights, weekends, the kind of presence a young family needs to survive. Marcia raised all 3 children alone after the divorce was finalized in 1994. Harvey fell so far behind on child support that a judge ordered him to pay more than $36,000 in backdated amounts. Marcia never gave a single interview. She wrote 3 self-published books, remarried, and moved forward quietly. His second marriage, to Mary Lee Shackelford, began in 1996. They had 1 son, Wynton Harvey. Harvey later admitted in a People interview that he had entered the marriage for the wrong reasons. "I was tired of being alone. I have to own that. It was me, not her. But it was bad for a long time." The divorce was finalized in November 2005. Court records showed Mary received $40,000 per month, a lump sum of $1.5 million, and 3 separate properties. What followed lasted over a decade and became one of the most bitter divorce aftermaths in American entertainment. In 2011, Mary posted YouTube videos claiming Harvey had cheated with Marjorie throughout their marriage and had intercepted love letters between them on her own wedding anniversary. She described years of harassment from Harvey's team. Harvey's legal team pointed directly to court filings that contradicted every major claim. A judge found her in contempt of court for repeatedly violating a gag order and sentenced her to 30 days in jail in December of 2013. From behind bars, she told a Dallas television station, "Am I angry? Yes. I missed 6 years of my son's life and I cannot get those years back." In May of 2017, she filed a $60 million lawsuit describing what she called Soul Killer, a combination of torture, deprivation, and brainwashing. Harvey's attorney called it meritless. The case was dismissed in 2018 on jurisdictional grounds. She never refiled. Marjorie Bridges has a story most people have never fully heard. Her first husband was Jim Townsend, a Memphis kingpin sentenced to life in federal prison. Marjorie was investigated by federal law enforcement and never charged. Steve Harvey first saw her at a comedy club in Memphis in the late 1980s. She walked in late and sat in the front row. He stopped his entire act and told the room he was going to marry her one day. They dated briefly and separated. Harvey was too broke. Both married other people. The reconnection happened in 2005. Harvey was in a casino gambling when his bodyguard interrupted with a phone call. "Man, you know I don't talk to nobody when I'm gambling," Harvey initially resisted. But Big Boom insisted, "No, I think you want to hear this." On the other end of the line was Marjorie, the woman he hadn't spoken to in nearly 20 years. Atlanta Black Star. When Marjorie walked toward him in the lobby of the Adams Mark Hotel in Memphis, Harvey had one thought: "I let you get away one time. You ain't going away this time." They married on June 25, 2007. He adopted her 3 children: Morgan, Jason, and Lori. He told people, "The Lord saved my soul. Marjorie saved my life." Atlanta Black Star. The night the crown fell. Redemption does not come with a guarantee of peace. On December 20, 2015, Harvey was hosting the Miss Universe pageant at the Axis at Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas. He had wanted the global platform for years. Then he read from a card. Miss Universe 2015 is Miss Colombia. Ariadna Gutierrez was crowned. 2 full minutes of live celebration broadcast to more than 190 countries passed before anything changed. Then Harvey walked back out, held up the card, and said, "I will take responsibility for this. It was my mistake." Miss Universe 2015 is from the Philippines. Harvey revealed afterward that the scorecard had been redesigned at the last minute without informing him. The winner's name sat in the lower right corner exactly where his thumb rested while reading. His correction tweet compounded the situation when he misspelled both countries before deleting and reposting. On Kevin Hart's podcast in 2021 he said, "I had just written on my vision board that I was asking God to increase my global brand. In 48 hours, my name had been Googled 4 billion times." By 2020, Miss Colombia had fully forgiven him and told interviewers, "I love him, and it wasn't his fault." Harvey survived the most viral television mistake of his generation and converted it into 6 more years of work hosting the pageant. The stolen punchline. While Harvey was collecting accolades on global stages, a group of comedians were going on record saying some of what made him famous never belonged to him. On January 3, 2024, Cat Williams sat down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, and more than 33 million people watched. In the middle of that conversation, Williams turned his aim directly at Steve Harvey and accused him of building a significant portion of his career on material that never belonged to him. Mark Curry had been making this argument since 2019. Curry starred in ABC's Hanjin with Mr. Cooper from 1992 to 1997, playing a black comedian in suits working as a vice principal inside a school. Harvey's WB sitcom, which launched in 1996, starred a black comedian in suits working as a vice principal inside a school. The specific joke at the heart of the dispute was a Halloween routine Curry performed on his 1999 Comedy Central special about being so poor as a child that he wore a cardboard UPS delivery box as a costume. In 2015, a segment with a nearly identical premise appeared on Harvey's daytime talk show. TMZ posted both recordings side by side. Angela Means, known for playing Felicia in the film Friday, confirmed in 2024 that the pattern was real. Steve Harvey will steal a joke. It was blatant, she said. Harvey's responses have been sweeping rejections without ever addressing the specific footage. He told TMZ, "Never stole a joke in 35 years. Come to me like a man." The accusations remain unresolved, and the footage remains online. The running man's empire. Harvey has one quote about money that explains everything. He said, "I'm running from homelessness. I cannot ever be in that position again. If my show gets cancelled, I've got 3 more. This is not ambition in the conventional sense. This is survival operating at the highest possible level, wearing a custom suit." Family Feud has been his financial anchor since September 2010, and under Harvey it became the first nationally syndicated program to grow its ratings for 7 consecutive years. Family Feud was renewed through the 2025-26 season, taking the show to its 50th anniversary year, and Harvey remains its longest-serving host in the show's entire history. He earns roughly $10 million per season. In February 2025, Family Feud Botswana, hosted by Harvey, began airing, further expanding his international footprint. IMDb Wikipedia. His book Act Like a Lady Think Like a Man sold over 2.8 million copies, spent 64 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, and was adapted into a film that grossed $96 million on a $12 million budget. His Atlanta estate, originally built by Tyler Perry, was purchased in 2020 for $15 million. His Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation runs an annual mentoring weekend for boys growing up without fathers, and the Disney Dreamers Academy has selected 100 high school students annually since 2008 from more than 10,000 applicants. The Boy Who Wrote It Down. Broderick Stephen Harvey was born on January 17, 1957, in Welch, West Virginia. His father Jesse was a coal miner. His mother Eloise was a Sunday school teacher. The family relocated to Cleveland, Ohio, and settled on East 112th Street, a block that would eventually be renamed Steve Harvey Way in 2015. Young Steve had a stutter so severe that other children called him Va Virum because his words crashed before they could escape his mouth. A man at the neighborhood deli quietly taught him to repeat his thoughts silently 3 times before speaking, and to speak on the exhale. Harvey later said, "A big part of my sense of humor came out of my stuttering. I said, 'Yes, I stutter, but I can make you laugh.'" In 6th grade, a teacher asked every student to write what they wanted to be when they grew up. Steve Harvey wrote that he wanted to be on television. The teacher read his paper aloud last, called him to the front, and publicly humiliated him. She called his parents. His mother was mortified. His father was not. Jesse Harvey came into Steve's room that night and said the words his son has repeated in every significant interview of his career: "Take your paper. Put it in your drawer. Every morning when you get up, read your paper. And every night before you go to bed, read your paper. That's your paper." Jesse died in 2000 from black lung disease. Eloise died in 1997 from a stroke. Neither lived to see the full height of what the paper produced. When success finally arrived, Harvey sent that 6th grade teacher a brand new television every single Christmas for the rest of her life. He told her, "I wanted you to see me." She eventually told him she had run out of places to put them and had started giving them away to neighbors. He is on television 7 days a week. Exactly as he told her he would be. And as of June 2025, Harvey posted on Instagram for Marjorie's 61st birthday, "Happy birthday to my queen, to my best friend, to the woman who saved my life." Parade. His legacy will never be simple, and it was never meant to be. The man who tells boys to believe in themselves left his first family struggling while he chased his dream. The man who became America's relationship expert carried 2 failed marriages and a $60 million lawsuit into the home he now calls his salvation. The man who tells millions to jump is still, by his own admission, running from something. He is not a saint. He is not a fraud. He is something far more interesting than either one, a man who wrote it all down on a piece of paper at 11 years old, and refused to stop until every single word on that paper came true. That is the complete story. What do you make of all of it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us exactly where you stand.